We've now reached the stage in our IELTS speaking section where we're going to look at some full model test questions and answers. So big congratulations to you. Throughout this lesson, you're going to see a full IELTS speaking test, and I'm going to show you some excellent language used to answer questions and Part 2 cue cards. So how best can you use this lesson? I highly advise that you use a pen and paper and write down some of the language that I use in this video lesson. That's because I'm showing you all the different language that we've talked about in the last few lessons of this course. Write down some of the language that you want to use, change it slightly and practice saying it. That will definitely help you build vocabulary and language for your own IELTS speaking test. So let's not wait around anymore and jump straight into the IELTS speaking test. One more thing to note before we do that, remember that the test begins as soon as you open that door. Hello and welcome to the IELTS speaking section of your test. My name is David and I am your examiner. Hello, nice to meet you. Can you tell me your full name, please? My name is Philippe Thomas, but you can call me Philippe. Could you show me your identification card, please? Yes, certainly. Here you are. Okay, Philippe, it's a pleasure to meet you too. I'm going to ask you questions to begin our IELTS speaking test. Where do you come from? I'm from a small village in the south of France. It's near the coast, so it's a great place to be if you enjoy being near the sea. What's the most interesting part of your village? That's a very good question. It's quite small and peaceful, so there aren't too many notable places around. However, there is a lovely cafe near the village hall that has great food. That's my favourite part anyway. Are you currently studying or working? Actually, I'm doing both. I'm studying for my master's in biology, but to support this, I work part-time. As you can imagine, I have a very busy schedule, but I like to have lots to do. Why did you decide to study biology? I suppose I haven't really thought about that. I guess I was good at sciences when I was in school, and from there I got more interested in the subject. Biology was always my favourite subject at school, as I think living things are fascinating. What type of accommodation are you currently living in? Right now, I'm living in a shared 2-bedroom flat with my best friend. It's around 30 minutes drive to the university campus, and sharing the flat keeps the price affordable. What do you think makes a good friend? Off the top of my head, I think that a good friend is someone who can make you laugh, no matter what mood or problems you are currently facing. Humour is an important characteristic because you can feel more positive and relaxed every day. Can you describe your best friend? Yes, of course. We've been friends for over 10 years now. I think of him more as a brother than just a friend. We have very similar interests such as sports like climbing and football, although I'm probably better at them than he is. Do you spend much time with your family? These days I don't get to see my family as much as I would like because they live very far away from me. I am definitely going to make a trip back to see them next month. Hopefully I can get the time off work. Is family important where you're from? Yes, I would certainly say so. French people are usually very close and tight-knit with their family. We often have big parties together throughout the year, although, as I said, because of studying, it's more difficult to see them now. Who are you closest with in your family? Let me think about that. Actually, I almost feel bad choosing one, but I suppose I'm closest with my father. That's mainly because we both are big football fans and we support the same team. I still try and go and watch football games with him when I can. I should also say I'm very close with my mother too. And here is the part 2 cue card with notes. Let's take a read through of this now. Describe the best holiday you have had. You should say where it was, who you went with, why you enjoyed it so much, and discuss when you took this holiday. And to the right of that is my notes using the 5 W's. So I have decided to go with a camping holiday, which was hiking and nature. Where? In Germany with forests, lakes, rivers and rolling hills. When? 10 years ago. It was a summer holiday from school. Why? Because everyone had holiday at the same time and my father is a teacher. Who? Whole family, and we met locals too. Do remember that in your IELTS speaking test you will be shown the cue card and then you have 1 minute to make your notes. I suggest using the 5 W's, but if you get other ideas as well, then do write them down, as I'm sure it will help you. So let's take a look at my model answer for describing the best holiday I've ever had. I would love to tell you about my most favourite holiday that I've ever had. I suppose I'm quite lucky, as there were at least 3 that I could choose from, but this trip was easily the best. I've always loved spending time outside, especially when I was young and more adventurous. My whole family went on a camping and hiking trip in Germany. It was part of a 3-week-long Europe tour that we went on, which was tiring but great fun. The part of the vacation I remember most was definitely camping out in the forests of southern Germany. It was such a remarkably beautiful place to be, and so peaceful too. We stayed in a large 4-room tent, which had 3 bedrooms and a shared space in the middle, where we ate food and played games together. I was quite young at the time and I thought it was such a great way to spend time. In fact, even today, I still love going camping with friends. It's difficult to say, but I believe I was about 10 years old at that time. All my family worked or studied in school, so we had our holidays at the same time. Me and my brother went swimming every morning in the rivers next to our tent. It was cold, but really refreshing. I remember my parents became friendly with some neighbours, and we spent a few evenings together eating food and having fun. It really was a great trip. And now on to part 3 of the IELTS speaking test, where you will be asked further questions about this topic from part 2. Now I'm going to ask you some more questions related to the topic you discussed in the last section of the test. Do you prefer city breaks or visiting the countryside? More often than not, I much prefer visiting places of natural beauty. I have spent a lot of time in towns and bustling cities, and although they have many conveniences, I like to live quietly outside of the chaos. It's the same for my holidays, really. I usually go to places for climbing and nature. Do you prefer to go on holiday alone or with other people? These days, it's difficult to organise when friends or family have free time all together. After I turned 25 years old, I travelled more on my own. If I'm lucky, a friend may have a similar holiday time, which means they can join too. I actually don't mind travelling alone so much, as it gives me more time to relax and unwind. What would your dream holiday be now? That's a tough question to answer. If I could only choose one destination, it would probably be Japan. I have always been interested in Japanese history and culture, so if I have the opportunity, I would love to visit there. Also, I really want to climb Mount Fuji, hopefully in the next few years. Why are you so interested in hiking and climbing? As I mentioned before, I enjoy being outside. You can call me a nature lover, really. Climbing is also about challenging yourself and pushing past your normal limits of comfort. It may sound strange, but in my opinion, it's good to scare yourself sometimes. What kind of sports do you not enjoy? I really do like almost all sports, but never really liked playing tennis. I love watching it on TV, and I think it's an amazing sport if you can play it. I think it's just a bit too difficult to play without having to stop all the time. Maybe I just need to get a good tennis coach. If you could be a famous sports person, who would you be? That's an easy question for me. Without doubt, I would want to be Lionel Messi. Even though I'm French, he's quite easily the best football player in the last few decades. He's more skillful than Ronaldo and is also a very quiet, humble person too. Like me, he very much loves his family. Plus, he has a lot of money, which would be nice. So that brings us to the end of our first full model test for IELTS speaking. I hope that you found a lot of the language really useful. Next up, we've got another sample question and answer test for you. See you there.